There are some things that, well, they're not designed for folks who lack a certain level of intestinal fortitude. Sometimes you just have to suck it up, untwist your knickers, and keep moving. Life takes guts. Well, welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me in the place where we tell it like it is. Hero, wimp, or something in between, you're always welcome here. So grab a cup and lift it up. We're going to jump into today's lesson. You know, my goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and to help them get to know him and his word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Also, join our email list. You can get a free copy of my book, Count to One, God's Plan for Christian Unity, and you'll get Mornings with Bishop Robert sent directly to your inbox. So click the link in the description and you'll find out a bunch of other great benefits as well. Having a heart attack will get your attention in a hurry. One of my spiritual sons had a physical exam, got a clean bill of health. Then he went home and died. He had a heart attack right there in his living room. Thankfully, God raised him from the dead after the paramedics had decided there was nothing else they could do. But that's another story. In fact, message me if you want the link to it. I'll send it. You're going to love it. You probably know several folks who stepped into eternity with no notice because of a heart attack. I know I do. You and I face heart attacks of a different nature every day. Different, but no less severe, and no less life-threatening. We're attacked by the vile viciousness of this world as it attacks our hope, our vision, our calling, and our loved ones. Our hearts are attacked by fear and hopelessness, and by the deliberate plan of the enemy to steal, kill, and destroy us. Hopeless people respond with desperate measures. During the COVID crisis, the rates of suicides and suicide attempts increased by as much as 50% in some populations. The causes were all kinds of heart attacks, feeling isolated and unconnected, being the victim of child abuse, uncontrollable substance abuse, and various types of family-related problems. Into this mess, today's verse brings the joyful pronouncement that God remains the strength of my heart. He's provided for all our needs. He's closer than we can imagine. If he's so close, how does he touch us? Well, he touches us by the sacraments. His body and blood infuse our very soul with the presence and power of God, the real presence of Christ upon our lips. By his word, the infallible scriptures instill his life and his strength. The inspired word of Christ at our fingertips. By the Spirit, we're empowered to press on as he responds to our needs. The very Spirit of Christ filling us with his strength. And by the service of his people, the community of faith that he's gathered around us, he upholds us. The hands and feet of Jesus, holding us and walking with us. Yes, God remains the strength of my heart. When the enemy comes in like a flood, God remains the strength of my heart. When life situations try to wash away my foundations, God remains the strength of my heart. When the fears assail me and attempt to isolate me, God remains the strength of my heart. Nothing can separate us from the love of Christ. His real presence, his word, his grace, his people, they're all available to us. When the heart's attacked, a rapid and focused response is required. Lives hang in the balance. When my friend Terry had a massive heart attack, his wife drove him to the hospital. She didn't consider stopping at the grocery store to pick up eggs on the way. She was focused. She was determined. She knew his life was in her hands. And if your heart's under attack today, you need a rapid and focused response too. Don't let heart attacks cripple you, your family, or your ministry. Don't allow yourself to be isolated. Remember that help and hope are only a prayer away. Remember that God's presence and His Word will sustain you. Remember that His Spirit, His grace, and His gifts are available to you. Remember that God's people are a key part of your support system. Oh yeah. And remember one more thing. God remains the strength of your heart. Before you go, let me ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, and help them get to know Him and His Word personally and better. Would you please like this video? It'll help more people see it. Then click follow or subscribe so that we get together every morning. Click the link in the description so you get our email every day. And one more thing, share this video with a friend, would you please? Because as you do, you're part of the team touching more than 1 million hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thank you for helping.